Hello, everyone. How's everybody doing? Exposing the truth. You're such a big fan of the show. You're the first person in the show. I appreciate that. You came on. Exposing the truth. You was in here 10 minutes before the show started. How you doing today? You excited about the show? I'm gonna start letting people get the opportunity. Giving people the opportunity to start coming in and all of that good stuff. Hey, Diane. Hey, M. Rose. Hey, Miss Tyranny. How is everybody doing? Mr. N was just on the show and then he had to click out for a few minutes. He'll be back in a few. But how is everybody doing? I hope that you all are doing good. Officer Ashley Gonzalez officially relieved of duty. I don't know who. uh, exposing the truth. Behave yourself. Behave. You already acting out. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button. Make sure exposing the truth while you cutting up. Make sure you didn't hit that like button. Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe. I can't tell you at peace. Kawan said police out of Houston. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button for me. Of course, y'all know producer Mr. N is gonna come on. We always, when he comes on, we always just talk about everything. And then before the show is over, he always like give out educational type things for those of you all that are in especially the music industry. That kind of helps y'all. So we waiting for him to come back. But I hope y'all had a good day today, y'all. I know I've been missing it. Let me just say this. I've been missing in action, number one. Um, because I haven't had my laptop. That's number one, because I ain't gonna even say what's going on with that. But they what's up, Mr. N?
What's going on?
Mr. N, I had to look twice. She looks like a white man.
I do.
With your hair like that, you look like
See, they not on my
Iranians.
level.
One of those Iranians.
Hey, see, they not on my level. See, I can change. I always been able to, make
You
moves.
always been able to change it up?
Yeah, see, that ain't, and not only that, God granted my hair still growing. I don't know about y'all, about all that right there. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a head full of gray hair.
Oh, they say you look like the Iran. They say you
Yeah,
look like the Iranians.
yeah. See, these type of niggas been left Memphis, baby. You feel what I'm saying? See, this how this what that is. This what that was right there.
They all gone. They
Yeah,
all
yeah.
gone, huh?
You talking about now? You talking about some higher tier shit? Nah, we been bailed out there. We been bailed out. What you talking about? You know what I'm saying?
I hear you. I hear you. I ain't mad at you. I'm telling you,
No, it's all good.
that's a
It's
sad
all
thing. It's a desert. It's a desert.
yeah. It's still a lot of major players. Those who chose to try to make the city better. Like still a
Is
lot
it?
of major players. Yeah, some great people there. Absolutely. And I was thinking today, Tam, I had a lot. different, a very different experience than a lot of these guys. As a young person getting, money. I didn't go to. I wasn't. I didn't go. My first experience wasn't with a record label with some people that wanted to trick me, or um, I had to do something to, get put in position. Um, a black man from Memphis wrote me $500,000 worth of checks out of his personal account, and all I had to do was keep it real.
Mm-hmm.
And he wasn't he was a young, prominent cat with a wife from the hood and had a family. It wasn't nothing like, I just had to keep it real. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Once I proved myself on a small dispute that went on about $5,000 or $6,000, and they saw I wasn't petty and I was willing to settle it. Well, it was like, well, we'll help. We want to see you get some money. If you that type of guy that this ain't nothing to you and you willing to settle this about this little money, then we want to help you get some money. We want to get some money with you. And so I never had to. I never got tricked into a situation or had to, do a bunch of stuff to get put in position. Um, I just had to keep it real. And so in that aspect, it was my integrity. And this was legit money. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
This was legit money. This guy is a prominent commercial developer in Memphis now. And so no, I don't know about, a lot of these situations. I wasn't cut like that. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I come up I'm from a different cloth. You know what I'm saying? You know, yeah.
Okay. Well, let me ask you. We got to get to it, and that's because everything we talk about is always good stuff. I feel comfortable in asking you everything. Now, Mr. N, the last time you was here, I got some questions myself. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm
Mm-hmm.
curious about. Now, the last time you was here, I always hear you talk about, the crew, the crew, the crew. I need you to answer this for me.
Like,
Would the crew happen to be Memphis Mob?
no, 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 and not to take nothing away from him, but the only member that was both part of the crew and Memphis Mob, y'all got a chance to, the world got a chance to meet. How about that?
Craig Pettis?
Nah, nah. But he's been trending around social media and on YouTube. So the only member that belonged to both of those uh, is on YouTube.
Oh, you talk about Quit. Okay.
But there is very two different groups of people. People in the crew, I don't know why I refer back to it, but it was about luxury. It was, we dressed, we didn't wear tennis shoes every day. We wore drivers, Gucci drive, Gucci drivers, Gucci loafers. The days of tennis shoes were behind us at a point. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we didn't have all the different Gucci tennis to choose from. Now I had with the cursive writing on the back. We wore all that type of stuff, but we wore drivers, loafers, um, and Giuseppe suits, and yeah, it was like that because there was a lot of bread floating around, and um, we it was all about the Reeds. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay, so it's like the glitz and the glamours. Would you say
Yeah,
almost like the
yeah.
preppy, like how the preppy boys were in school?
But more so the thinkers. And so when you're looking at me, that's what you're seeing. See, I bought these glasses
What
when
kind
I
of
owned.
what kind of shades are those? I like them.
Yeah, but in 2009, 2010, 2005, you had to go to Atlanta and you had to go to Devontae in the Lenox Mall. This was the closest place you could buy authentic Cartiers in Memphis. and you couldn't get a pair under $1,100 with the tax. But if they was had cuts in them and all that, they was easily $1,300-$1,400. And so these were, this is the stuff that was reserved for the players. You know what I'm saying? And we spent a lot of time in Atlanta as well.
Mm-hmm. So those are Cartier glasses, shades you got on.
Yeah, these are.
I like them. They're
Thank you,
nice.
thank you, thank you.
Okay. Well,
Cartier
how
now,
much they cost?
they produce them now with the cuts, but I had to go to the Eclectic Eye on Cooper, right there on Cooper and Young.
Yeah.
I went to the Eclectic Eye and they cut the lenses flash coat two-tone tint. Cartier didn't even have a bunch of colors and varieties, and it come from the factory already cut. That's what I'm saying. This is a very different place because you might see anybody. You see, anybody with a pair on now.
How much they cost when you bought them?
About 1,100 to they go to 2,200. It's some $3,500 buffs. It's some $4,000 buffs, and those are
Mm-hmm.
the ivory handles. But I always been wires. I always wear wires.
Okay. I hear you. I ain't mad at you. You looking nice. The women in the chat going crazy. They think
I
that
can't
you
even
are
see.
you
I can't
half
even see that.
Iranian? Are you
I
half
can't.
Iranian or are you all black? The women want to know, are you all black or you half Iranian?
My father is of mixed descent, and he uh and Eric Gale. Eric Gales was he kind of mentored Eric Gale. Yeah. Yeah. If y'all
Okay.
heard, I'm sure everybody heard of Eric Gale. He just got nominated for an Oscar. Yeah.
Okay. So when you say your dad was a mixed descent, what was that?
We're not gonna get into all that right there on this show.
Okay. I mean,
This ain't,
we just be
yeah,
more,
this ain't
as
about
women,
it. Yeah, yeah.
we're very
But my
inquisitive.
mom is black. My mom is black. She went to North Side. My mom is from North Memphis. And these two people came together from two different backgrounds, two different worlds, at a time where it may not been the most popular thing. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so let me ask you something. So we see, you have a lot of you do a lot of things, and we talk about this all the time because this is like your third or fourth time on here. I appreciate you coming back on,
Thank you.
and coming and sitting down with me because I'm very inquisitive and you're able to deal with me and my inquisitive type personality. But that's what interviews are about. I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I,
I wasn't shying away from that question. It's just it's a long story because it's a family of musicians, and they had a record deal. I have two brothers. They are twins, and they signed to Warner Brothers, and they have their own story. And so I'm not gonna even go down there that rabbit hole.
okay.
I'm gonna let them tell their story. They in the process of getting all that together, so I'm gonna let them tell their story. That's the only reason. Other than that, right there, it wouldn't have been a problem.
Okay, so with you being a producer and being in the industry for as many years as you've been in the industry, the biggest thing that has been in the industry in the news recently has been Gucci Mane and Pooh Shiesty. As a producer, as a person that has been in the industry, give us your insight on that. What do you think about this situation?
Black Youngster just had a lot more reserve, and he had to do some thinking and some soul searching. But this is the same situation. Um, Finesse two times. This is the same situation, and the Pooh Shiesty situation is the same situation. And what this leads back to is, uh, what Mr. N be trying to tell folks, but that ain't want to really what I'm saying. But um, not understanding the business and the miseducation of talented Memphis artists is a catastrophe. It's a
Mm-hmm.
terrible thing. And coming from a city where, like I said, 1 in 7 cannot read on a functional level. And
Right.
now we're facing a state takeover in the schools.
Yeah.
So it's not like all of them can interpret the language that would be in one of these contracts, but they would need to have enough sense to seek representation. Now, building a business from the ground up is just that. I don't care if it's a carpet cleaning business, you make dresses, if you open a car wash, a wing restaurant. It's building a business from the ground up. It requires work, it requires investment, it requires time. If you build it that way, then you have a lot more leverage in terms of the negotiation and how it's set up. And I just want to cover that from the business standpoint, so that the young artists do understand how the game is played. But in terms of that specific situation, uh, this highlights the level of ignorance that exists inside the minds of 17 to maybe 28-year olds
Mm-hmm.
in this area. And if we needed any more highlights or any more confirmation of that, it would be the last two murders that occurred with high school students
Mm-hmm.
on their way to graduate and on their way to a bright future. Um, and it's a level of it's so dangerous. The reason is more dangerous than LA. The reason it's more dangerous than Chicago is because this level of ignorance, hatred, and this type of energy doesn't exist unprovoked in those cities.
Mm-hmm.
See, unprovoked in those cities. I drove that red G wagon to a crib neighborhood. These girls that took me to a bar in LA one night and damn near, you feel what I'm saying? But I wasn't making no noise. I didn't come in there doing no flag. I bought drinks. I spent money at the bar. Man, one of the crib niggas walked me to my truck. Said, bro, you don't know what you doing, bro. But I wasn't looking for no trouble. You feel what I'm saying? In Memphis,
Mm-hmm.
Tennessee, that don't matter, my G. That don't matter. You feel me? In Memphis, that don't matter. It's so much activity, it's so much gunslinging that rational thought, call the attorney, get them to negotiate terms. Can we do a buyout? That's not my mental process.
But he had his father there, who was a manager, who
That's
was.
not his mental process. His thinking is not that sophisticated. Clearly.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and what I want to highlight right here to everybody out there that listen is poverty breeds low vibrational primal activities in the brain. Low vibrational primal. That means my stomach hungry. I got to get food. I'm gonna grab, do what I got to do, whatever to eat. Okay. Now, once they program that into you, you get money, you get more money, and you out of this situation. But the program is still there.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know how to rationally resolve this or come to a solution where I will be satisfied because I'm still in I'm hungry, gotta take. If I can't do this, I gotta do. I'm still that program is still there. I can't coexist with Young Dolph. It's got to be me or him. It's one only gonna be one of the biggest. Even though you worth millions of dollars,
Mm-hmm.
the program is still there. You're no
Okay.
longer in a without state, but the programming is still there. It's
Well, let me
still
ask you
running.
this, because I got a two-part question, because and it's loaded. So, are you familiar with the father? Because he's from North Memphis. Pooh Shiesty. No, he may be from South Memphis. Pooh Shiesty's father. Were you familiar with him? Because he's a manager in the industry.
You know, I don't know him personally. Let me first of all say that right there.
Okay.
Uh, I have family members who work with him closely. Family members. Um, over that Memphis Walk song that Miscellaneous had that Gotti copied, he was going to. It might have been the end of Yo Gotti right there because they was trying to kill Gotti, and everybody knew it was Mob Tide, Luntrail, Miscellaneous artists. There was no secret. I don't know how everybody just threw that out the window and forgot about that. I guess because you know, it sound good. He was trying to go to CMG, blah blah blah. Luntrail was trying to kill Gotti when he he duplicated that Memphis Walk song from Miscellaneous. This fact. If y'all
How
want to
many?
forget,
How many years ago was that?
listen. If y'all want to forget that Memphis, I'm down. I forget it too. But there's nobody forgot that. To keep it a buck with you, um, Pooh Shiesty put some young niggas from the neighborhood uh, that he grew up in, that I grew up in a wheelchair. Um, he really was about that life way before he ever touched the microphone.
Mm-hmm.
And he moved. They moved from North Memphis out Crockett Street. Uh, I think to East Memphis or wherever, you know.
To South Memphis,
Right,
yeah.
right, yeah. But he really put some niggas in the wheelchair out on some real beef, and they kept it street. But I told my partner, I said, listen, let me tell you something. I want to tell all y'all out there that's listening. See, you go to jail for the shit you get away with. That's what you go to jail for. You go to jail for the shit you thought you got away with. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay. So so let me ask you this. Do you think that, just, and this is just in your opinion because there's no way that you or I can know. But we've both been looking at what we can come to our own conclusions. Do you think that the lure of signing to CMG had him to act out like that?
God is I'm gonna tip my hat on this podcast. God is a hell of a chess player, man. He's good. He's good. And I know how good he is. You know what I'm saying? And I know how he thinks and I know how he's wired. And I'm sure he would agree I'm one of the best in terms of the vision of the board and how the game is played. But January 8th, he recorded that song with Glorilla, and January 10th, the robbery happened.
Wow.
Man, and I'm talking about he maneuvered this shit to smear Gucci,
Yeah.
remove Shiesty. You think you finna be the next Yo God? No, you're not. Hey man, you gotta give it to him. The nigga playing the win, and
Yeah, because
I just can't hate that. I can't hate on that. I can't hate on that. That nigga playing the
because
win.
like I said, I'm not even in the street, because first thing they'll say is she ain't in the
That nigga
street.
playing the win. If
Yeah.
I ever seen a nigga playing the win, that nigga there playing the win.
Well,
He set that one up. That was a doozy. That was immaculate. That was cold. That was
yeah.
cold.
Do you think that
Because you gotta
Gotti?
understand, for them to feel like this amount of money is on the line, then you would need to be in contact with the people who are gonna cut the checks. Somebody dangling a check.
Right.
That's the only way you gonna.
The
Yeah,
same
yeah.
thing they did before.
Somebody dangling a check, and he just constantly putting Duracells in niggas back, bro. That man, they're cold. That nigga, they're cold, bro. I'm telling you. January 8th, they were recording the verse with Glorilla. January 10th was the robbery. That nigga that cold. Boy, listen, you hear me? I'm trying to tell you. Man, that nigga there, he cold. And
Mhm.
remove Shiesty. Competition for Glorilla. Shiesty is, you know, crazy hot coming out. So, he wasn't CMG yet, so he competition.
Mhm.
I think we all know all this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, the
So you a
dates and stuff.
producer. You are a producer. You. I'm sure you probably had your label. You're a songwriter. Do you? Wouldn't you have known? Would you have ever thought that Gucci would? Do you think Gotti knew? Let me word it like this. Do you think that Gotti knew that Gucci was never going to release Pooh Shiesty for him?
Hell yeah. You think, hey, what? Come on. And he knew Gucci was gonna call the police. He knew that. That's what if y'all don't know what I'm laughing at or what part of it I'm laughing at,
He knew
hey,
he
man,
had to call the
listen,
police
man.
based
I
on
didn't
his
roll in the
signature.
car 400 miles with Mario Mills, man. I don't want to hear that shit, man. And but I can't hate on a nigga playing to win. I'm a player. What can I say? What can I say? You feel what I'm saying? I'm a
Well, let me
player.
ask you this. Do you think he's becoming a bit rusty? Because, when a person is crafty, they're really good at it, their name never comes up.
Where
You think
his
he's getting
his
rusty?
his face ain't I mean, he hasn't talked. He hasn't been seen around none of these people. I'm sorry, man. He hasn't been seen around none of these people.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
You know,
Um,
did you know that during Lil Wayne did a verse on the Life album, right?
uh-huh.
Lil Wayne. Did you know that when Lil Wayne came to Memphis and did that verse, he got robbed? Have you ever heard that?
No.
Well, I'm gonna let the people check that out.
So you're saying that Lil Wayne came to Memphis and did a verse on Gotti's album?
Yeah. And did you
And
know that? And you can fact check this. Lil Wayne was robbed on that visit to, we're gonna say Memphis.
mm-hmm.
See, y'all way in the back. See, learning how this game go, how this game play, you know, that's why you do good sticking to yourself and doing the right thing and building your business on your own. Um, because essentially, and I don't want to turn this into no goddamn comedy show because that's not what it is. And I'm not gonna drop no more bombs, but I had to put an exclamation mark on that because this town, and and this goes for Memphis, Tennessee, everything that's happening in the streets, everything that's happening in the rap game, everything that's happening this town is turning into a good old fashioned fight between good and evil. That's all. So everybody take inventory in your life and put each and every one of them people in one of the two categories. Now be real where they supposed to go. All these characters you see on YouTube, put all them in the category they supposed to go. Because this has turned into a good old fashioned fight between good and evil, God and the devil. Ta-da!
Okay. Well. Let's go a little bit further. You know, um, we've been seeing Govan on YouTube, and he's joined forces with um Charleston and the other
Yeah,
young man, and he's been going into jails and speaking to
praise
young
God.
men.
Who been going into jail?
Go man.
For real?
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. Hey, that's it. Go do some good in the world. Yeah, go do some good in the world, man. We don't want to hear nothing about, hey, man, we don't want to. I just told you this a good old fight between good and evil. Pick your side. You still got time. Because guess what? We know who gonna win. We already know who gonna win.
Well, God, I'm gonna tell you who gonna win. God out. Evil can never override good or God.
Undefeated, right?
God is undefeated always.
Seems like to me a lot of folks don't know that, or they seem like they may be placing a lot of big bets against it. You, I can't speak on nobody's salvation or nobody's life. I'm just saying, seem like to me, y'all, it been a lot of big bets placed against it.
Mr. N, I was looking at now. You could say that you don't have to talk about this if you don't want to. You
Mm-hmm.
definitely don't have to go into detail, but I am a very big fan of Justice for Dolph.
Mm-hmm.
And Justice for Dolph had posted something that was very concerning to me.
Mm.
He posted that there was an attempt on your life.
Well, I mean, an actual attempt. I think we talked about this on the last show.
I don't remember it.
Okay, so um, oftentimes it is the snake that you feed and that you attempt to help that would try to bite you.
That's so true.
But I've been dealing with and handling snakes a long time. I grew up in Memphis, Tennessee. So I'm pretty swift, although I try not to put myself or make myself vulnerable. That's what I should say.
Well,
But
you don't seem bothered.
I mean, I spent a lot of money to make sure that you can't come where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? That's first of all. But second of all is being aware and a level of awareness. I have children to think about. I have families to think about, and so you know,
But
a lot of thought, a
being
lot of
you,
thought goes into it.
even though you could tell you're intelligent, I know I know. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
I said, even though you're intelligent. I mean, you've been in the streets, you've lived in the hoods and stuff. I mean, does it bother you a little? I mean, do you have any concern
Well, what I'm
about?
gonna see it. Well, okay, so this back. I'm getting a little windy out here. I don't know if the mic picking it up. Hold on. But
We can hear you real good.
okay. So to have the foresight to understand what was going to happen and where all of this was going, I, unlike everybody else, I ain't just want to jump on YouTube and do interviews and podcasts and that's my thing. No, I have set up a whole thing that is going along with where I thought I could see all of it going. And so it's more than just but it is doing good and it's spreading God's joy and doing some of God's work and helping people and giving people opportunities. And so I set up things that I feel like that's what I wanted to do in the near future. And the songs needed to go along with, I can't be on here talking all this positive stuff. The next thing I'm talking about is, in these records is this, that.
Right.
No. No, we have to evolve, and I have evolved, and I love rap. Rap helped me learn the music business. You know what I'm saying? It was a raw enough uh, business setup where you could really understand the nuts and bolts and what was going on. And so, and we incorporate all kind of music. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that in my younger days, I made that type of music. In my whatever my taste is now, or I look at what I'm playing most of the time now, what I want to listen to now. Then a lot of stuff that I choose to make is based on that, on what I feel like I want to vibe, or what I would like to perform somewhere, and I would like to want people to hear. And at this point in my life, you feel what I'm saying? And so
Mm-hmm.
these are different songs, and uh, because we have mastered the back end of everything, and we can function on the level of a major label in terms of online activity, then I get to make whatever kind, like the next single I drop is gonna go gold for real.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm mixing it right now, but I'm not rushing it. But I guess I waited my whole life to be sitting in that spot where I could say something like that, like make a prediction. My next single is gonna go gold.
Mr. N, I could see you doing I could see you doing like a show on. Why don't you do like get you a camera crew and do like one of those, you searching, the fake thing that Yo Gotti did, when he act like he was looking for talent all the time. He was trying to funnel money to pay for the
Yeah,
people
yeah,
who
yeah.
had lawyers who had hit Young Dolph. But you do it for real though. Like, get a camera crew
Well,
and
I gotta produce my daughter, and she's about to start recording music, and I do want to work with some young people from Memphis, but um, there is something that's supposed to transpire first, and so I just have to take everything one step at a time. Some days
is she a
I wake
singer or rapper, your daughter?
up. She does both. She does
Oh,
both.
okay, cool.
She does both. And so at this point, I mean, I just deserve to sit in the seat because of, uh, everything that happened, everything that transpired. And I told my son and his mom, I was like, y'all spending so much money. Look, I'm Mr. N. I'm the one from North Memphis who rap, who these chicks supposed to be going to. Y'all don't rap. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But no, I joke with them. But uh, I deserve. I get a chance to sit in the seat because of what happened, what transpired, and you know,
Well,
and
let me
and
just say
and,
this
and, and
on a real tip, as a Memphian. I think we have a lot of talent in Memphis. I'm serious, and I think this is something you should think about. We have a lot of talent in Memphis, but we also have a person that has taken on, he's become the devil to try to control everything. He's tried to knock everybody off of the board, right? And but we know that what he's doing is putting these young men in these 360 deals. I love the idea and the thought of what Young Dolph was doing. I know that you know the industry. I think, you come from Memphis before anybody ever knew you. Memphis kind of helped to birth each and all of us. When people say I don't owe my city nothing, no, our city helped to make us, to shape us. Really, it's a lot of talent here. I think like a lot of, and this is just me, and I'm bold to say it, a lot of young men like yourself who have gone on to be successful. I think you all should each one teach one. You owe the city, these young men who are hungry, who got their head right. You owe them to, at least, if you can't sign them or something like that, try to
yeah,
guide
there's
them
a new
in the right
model.
direction.
There's a new model, and it was remarkable what Dolph did. And um, Dolph was with me in spirit throughout this journey. I think I got so emotional just about the fact that being hated on and murdered, like I just saw that so much of me in this situation, and then to know a certain group of the characters, I was like, this could have easily, you know, been me, and I think I got so in, I feel, I just had a lot of feelings about that, and it just made me get to all of the answers like definitively and quickly, and uh, I just feel like, but there is a new model, and the new model is be your own boss, be your own owner, and you're gonna seek representation or seek someone or some company to be the machine that makes everything go.
Mm-hmm.
And then um, you need to strategize on how you're going to reinvest the money. But first of all, you want to make money, and if you're going to put money out, you want to have it for sure way. Don't ever believe that these companies and these Jewish people are risking $2 million on a 22-year-old, and they have no way of getting it back. Don't believe that.
How do they
Everything's
get it
going
back?
on. Everything's going on behind the curtains.
Mm-hmm.
You see, they want to call Gucci out and say, "Hey, you made 25 million." See how they'll call you out, but they don't call them out.
Right.
But he really did.
Well, if Gucci made 25 million, that means the people behind the curtain made 50.
And that's the thing. You have to understand what's happening. So if QC signs an artist, he doesn't have to take them to a major. Just because Gucci signed the artist, he don't have to take it to a major. Or if he do, he has a lot of negotiating leverage. And he knows the game, unlike a young person, and he will use that leverage to negotiate better terms. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, um, just retaining a portion of the publishing and the master and stuff like that, we're talking about over $5 million, $10 million.
Mm-hmm. Well, so let's go back a little bit. So, because me personally, I don't believe it. But do you believe, because the word was that they had given Pooh 5 million, Gotti had fronted him 5 million to put in his pocket, and then had given him a blank check. Do you believe that? Because I
If
don't.
that's what it took to checkmate all of them,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, whatever it took. A promise of 5 million, an actual 5 million, a promise of 5 million. You got to get this back if this don't happen, or 2 cars and 400. It don't matter what it was. If that was the move, which it was, and I mean, that's just it's just no. I mean, it's no other way of looking at it. That's obvious what happened right there, and he went for it. He bought it.
He definitely went for it.
Yeah, he bought it. And to be on Gotti's side, and to after being opposed back in the day to their side, and now everybody cool and da da da, we gonna make this deal happen. Uh, I was with Gotti when he got out the TBT contract, and Rick Ross called and told him, you number one draft pick. So see, you got to know how that feels too. See, a lot of people ain't never been in this situation, but you break free from a contract with a major, and you got all that hype been built behind you, and now you a free agent. See, that's an exhilarating. That's an out of this world. That's like going. That's like being, get drafted to the NBA, because you know that the brand is big enough to command 4-5. Maybe they saying more. They saying 8. They saying 10. Everybody on the phone. Da 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 da. But and so that's enough to gas his ass up for sure. Yes, sir. And a little
Mm-hmm.
bit of money, sprinkle a little bit of money too. Hell yeah. Well, he don't know. Well, he know better.
He didn't know better. Listen, I'm gonna say this. He didn't know better. But Pooh Shiesty's father has been in the industry. He's managed young men.
Well,
He
they also
allowed his
count on
son
the
to jump
fact
off of
that
that
they
cliff. Oh,
also they also count on the fact that Gucci is gonna ruin his brand. See, this is where the genius of Mario Bingham come in. Now he gonna put him in a trick bag where he can't go number. He's gonna put Gucci in a move where he can't go number one or two ways. One or two ways. Either you gonna go public and then you gonna do damage to the brand, or you gonna let it ride, make the contract valid. We gonna run this thing how it's supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
But where they messed up was one major reason is you put a nigga in a position where I got a 800,000 or $1 million worth of jewelry that I got appraisals on for 5, 6, 7 million. So I got a $6 million, $7 million payday, a 7 times flip with State Farm. All I got to do is call State Farm, but if I call State Farm, I'm gonna need a police report.
Mm-hmm.
So ain't no nigga gonna leave no. We live in the tax State Farm ass up. I do not endorse. I do not endorse insurance fraud. I had no way. This is no. I had no way advise you to commit insurance fraud. Black folks live the tax State Farm ass. So if I could go from $1 million in jewelry, and we all know the price is gonna be way high, so he probably 5 or 6 times his money, and got a wife at home say, "Baby, I don't care what the fuck they call you $5 million, $6 million richer. That's what they call you." You hear what I'm saying? Now, anybody advance Pooh Shiesty the money, he will sue. He's going to sue because contract was not valid in the first place, and all royalties collected in accordance with the songs, the single, it was all Gucci's intellectual property, first and foremost. Uh, according with his agreement with Atlantic, but first and foremost, it belonged to him.
Mm-hmm.
And if they would have, if something, God forbid, something would have happened to Gucci, because I don't want to see nothing happen to nobody, he still would have owed the corporate entity the same number of albums, and he still would not have been able to just take any of his albums or intellectual property from the corporate entity in the absence of Gucci himself.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I'm sure Gotti has been in the business a long time. He knew that. Pooh Shiesty didn't know it. His daddy should have knew it, but he didn't. And
Well,
then
it's
too,
not real. See, it's conversations, and we at the studio, and jewelry and money and big shit popping, and it's all talk until see, somebody take it serious. Somebody set the plan in motion. Somebody hook the batter up. That's how
mm-hmm,
it goes. And the newness of you being in there and around all this stuff, and people promising you stuff, and folks shaking your hand, and nigga just gave you 20 bands and told you welcome home, and all far as all is real.
right, right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
But I don't know why I can't get past his father. Going back to his dad. His dad been out in the street and in the industry long enough to know that it wasn't.
Oh yeah, man. But they were willing to, in they, not in their defense, but put myself in their shoes. They simply were willing to risk that Gucci wouldn't call the police, and he would maintain his image. He was one of the only rappers that got a body, and all this stuff here they talk about as nothing to be proud of. But he had a persona, and he did State Time, State versus Radrick Davis. So they really was banking on him not tainting or going against the brand, which in my book, them songs still gonna slap. Gucci still gonna get on stage and do his first day out. Do all them records still gonna slap in some club somewhere? A promoter got 50,000 or 40,000, 30,000 or better. They're just not gonna change.
Right.
They're still, when they hear I'm a dog, that ain't gonna, this vibe ain't gonna break. Lemonade, you
No,
know.
because he was in Alabama and they said what, like 20, 30 something thousand people came out to see Gucci.
Yeah, it was the homecoming football game, and he went back. I guess he wanted to go back to his hometown and do that, but that wasn't important. Gucci Mane is a global brand.
That's true.
Gucci, the clothing brand, would not have made him a spokesperson if he wasn't. He's a New York best-selling author with Simon and Schuster, the top publishers in the world. He don't need that. Ain't don't get it twisted, dog.
Hmm.
Don't get it twisted.
Okay, well let's move a little further with that. You know, we've been seeing, as I kind of touched on a few minutes ago, your old buddy, and I'm not being sarcastic when I say that. It's you all had a relationship or have a relationship. I don't know, but he's been doing a lot of interviews, and
Yeah,
you hear people say that they feel that I'm not in the street, so I don't know. I don't see anything wrong with what he's saying, but I hear people in the street saying that they have issues with what he's saying. What do you think about that?
issues with I honestly haven't been listening.
Okay.
Because nonsense is it just, at this point in the game it just has no place. And not only that, but uh devils dressed up as good people, I'm over there too. You feel what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I'm over all that. I'm past all that. This game too serious now. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
if he is doing good work and he is on the right thing, and you said he going into prisons and things like that right there, like I said, this is the time to identify yourself because we know who the winners are going to be. No matter whatever side you choose, we know what side is going to be the victory in this. If you tell me what's being said, then I maybe can give some reference. But I
Okay.
honestly,
I've been watching. I hold on. Whenever he comes on, I mean, I know that he is going to, whenever he does an interview, I know he's going to he just kind of lay it out there. I don't know if he's trying to I don't I he's trying to
that may be his character. That may be his truth. You know what I'm saying? The space is available for anyone. For anyone who don't feel the way that person feel or got something to say, the space is open for everybody. You feel what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
But um, getting into low vibrational spaces and low vibrational topics and things that don't promote or help. And now, when truth need to be told, I understand that, because we don't want y'all to get it twisted.
Right,
And
because people are very curious about certain things, like it's a lot of things that we did know, as he says that he I don't think that young Dolph did it, but he says that allegedly some paper route people had shot up Gotti's car right before Dolph had lost
I
his
think we
life, and
talked
he
about that. We
and he
talked,
knew that he was gonna get him. He knew he
but
was gonna get him.
that's been debunked. Okay, so I don't have
Well, you right. I remember you saying that if something like that,
yeah,
I
that's
think
been
that's the win. Yeah,
that's,
I
that's
remember you saying that if something like that had happened, then other people would have
But
known.
this is the wild. This is EA Sports. It's all in the game. If you said the car got shot up, this is an imaginary world called YouTube. So maybe in some dimension that I don't know about or we don't know about, he got shot up. Okay, now so you know what I'm saying? It's not gonna bring this man back. It's not gonna undo this. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't know. Maybe I guess You know what I'm saying? But it just, if I'm Jay-Z and I'm having a meeting with the artist that I want to do business with, and he has a problem with the artist that I represent or my company represent, and if I'm a real OG, do I attempt to put this fire out between these two young brothers?
Yes.
It's coming down to good and evil. That's all I'm saying. And everybody got to be put in their appropriate place. You feel what I'm saying? If you want to see this thing clearly, if you want to understand clearly.
Well, I'm gonna say this. I feel like you're saying something. It's going over my head when
No, I mean, I'm just saying, if I was a person who was holding that meeting, and I know there, there's an artist I represent that, y'all have got a 2-3 year feud. You've been shot at this point of the meeting. You've been shot. This is not a joke. I know that much. Would I try to put this fire out? And it may mean I could get you on my team or do some business with you, but as an OG, as a responsible person who really about the shit they be claiming they about, would you try to put that fire? Wasn't he supposed to try to put that fire out?
yeah.
Okay. I just
Okay.
these things I get to ask y'all if I'm crazy or not. You feel? This the shit I be out trying to see if I'm crazy. You feel what I'm saying?
Okay. Well. Let me. Because it's so. Let me ask you this, because, like I said, I look at all of his interviews. I'm not saying if I necessarily believe all of it, because I don't necessarily believe everything, but he said that he's had him and Daddio have had conversations. Uh, he didn't say they talked, but there have been conversations passed, and that the paper route people, he's been around, quite a few of them, and they know that he was not involved in this. They don't have any issues with him. Um,
Um, there's a reason behind that. There's a reason behind that. And if you really want to know the answer to all of that right there, our friend from the other side of the pond uh, is putting some stuff together. He told me regarding it. But, it's not nothing I needed nobody to tell me, because just being in Memphis for so long, you drive in the streets of Memphis, it's a certain electricity, a certain pulse that's running through your body, and you can feel things. And I don't know if I would be alive today if I didn't have these type of senses developed. But a lot of shit about that didn't make sense, and a lot of stuff about who knew each other and who were communicating with each other and who were friends with each other. Just a lot of stuff didn't make sense, unless certain people was with the shit, you know. And they knew each other from way back from child from the neighborhood, 20 years before any of this stuff. So I'm not the only person that know that. I'm sure you know, they've been knowing each other. To answer your question, you know, um, and
But it's easy. But
they
it's
didn't have
easy
any
for
problem
people to
with him.
know each other. It's easy for people to know each other
Yeah,
in Memphis. So.
they didn't have any problem with him before that, and says that he doesn't have any problem with him now. And so, you guys have to really sum it all up and put it all together and use common sense, and that's what you see me saying things, and then I stop and laugh, or I say something like, I'm just trying to make sure I'm not crazy, but really, I'm invoking the audience to use common sense. You understand what I'm saying? With my mannerisms, with my, let's talk about, what I do on this camera, but I'm really getting y'all to use common sense because that's the only thing that's missing. You got two pieces and they look like they fit together, but it's a gap right there. Insert common sense right there. And throughout your life, not just with these, the hell with these people, you know what I'm saying? In your life, insert common sense, assert common sense for you. Proper English bitches. I mean, women out there. I mean, people like guys out there.
Right, because we don't disrespect women.
Hey, I ain't disrespecting nobody. Somebody was in.
Okay.
I couldn't hear them. They was correcting me. They was like, yeah,
Okay.
it's assert. It's not insert, but assert common sense in these situations. It's not rocket science, man. This is not a complex place to understand, and these are not the smartest people in the world. I assure you. And so, if you use a little common sense, you can figure it out.
Well, let me be clear about
I'm
this.
not the. I don't work for law enforcement. I never have, never will, and that's
Well,
not my job to do that.
right. Well, let me say this. Let me be clear about this. Me personally, and I don't know, but I would. It's hard. It would be hard for me to believe that Daddy-O had anything to do with what happened to
I
Young
never
Thug.
said that. I never
No, no,
said that.
I know you didn't say it, but
Yeah.
people have put that energy into the atmosphere, being that
But
Daddy-O.
everything will surface. Everything, if there is anything to know, you'll know, we'll know. It'll come to light. It all comes to light. People wear masks. People get on here and say anything. They can get on here and say anything. I think everybody has watched as niggas got on different shows saying damn near anything. And uh, but it don't pass the real nigga test. That's the problem. That it don't pass the smell test. You look at that shit and you can sit up there and know like I wouldn't trust that nigga. Hey, wouldn't trust that nigga. You feel what I'm saying? So, it just it's about common sense. Use good
Mhm.
judgment, because people can get on here and they can say absolutely anything. They can paint any picture. Half of the
That's
time
true.
that I'm jumping on here, it's to correct something like that. I feel like, okay, we're not gonna tell this story the wrong way. We're gonna keep it real on this, keep it real on that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Hmm.
some of these
A
people,
young man in my audience says that he feels that a lot of people get paid to be quiet and look the other way.
a lot of people don't have interest in the subject. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, there are now on a higher on a higher level, on a certain level, what you're hearing and seeing is being manipulated. Absolutely, 110%. Uh, you can see that by the promo that different platforms run. That it's a pay to play game, and it's always been like that
Hmm.
behind the scenes. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because it's the media and entertainment industry. Don't
Hmm.
take anything you see on here that seriously. Where you know don't it's not that don't do that.
Okay. Well, let's go a little further.
We
I
get we
my
get ready to go. We get ready to go a little further. All right?
yeah,
We get ready to wrap
listen.
this up. Tell you
I be
think you gonna
wanting
hold
I
me
be
two
wanting to
hours?
talk about
You
a
ain't gonna
lot, but
hold me no
you
3 hours,
be
2 3 hours tonight. Go
I know
ahead. I'm
I ain't gonna
listening
try
to
to
you.
keep you. I know I kept you on here 3 hours before. I'm
No,
trying
we're
not to
not
keep
doing
you on
that.
here 3 hours tonight. We get to talking. I be enjoying. And it's funny because I can't
We
interview
got to
no,
break it up.
I
We
can't
got to do
interview
it
nobody
different.
for that long. But you have so much information. I really be enjoying it. Uh,
Thank you.
but I do want to say this because in between us, me asking you questions that the audience want, you drop nuggets that people in the bushes may need to know because I'm sure it's a lot of
That's
industry
right.
people up in here. You see what I
That's
mean?
right. That's right. That's right. Absolutely.
So we've talked about this before, but my audience want to talk about it again. But I guess what I have to do is I'm gonna ask you your opinion on it because I didn't ask you your opinion the last time. Do you, in your opinion, do you think that Juke would ever get justice?
Hmm. You know, not on the level of police and all
So you don't think the police would ever arrest anybody?
that. I don't. I
Even
don't.
though
I
you
got.
hear people in the street saying, we know, because I've had people to come in my chat and say, put
Well,
some
let me
names
say
in
this
the
right here.
chat.
First of all, I know both of them for a very long time, and God is just he wouldn't do that. That's the best I can tell you, about that. God wouldn't do that. He wasn't his freedom wasn't on the line, or he wasn't his money wasn't on the line. I mean, he wasn't put in a position to where he just wouldn't do that. You know, he wouldn't do it.
No, I don't think that he would ever, tell the police about anything. What I'm saying is, because
No, I mean he didn't have anything to do.
oh yeah, I don't believe that he had anything to do with it. But I
Right,
don't think he had anything to do with what happened to his brother.
right.
But
No,
what I'm saying is, like, with so many people on the street knowing, and you know how people on they talk, you don't think
okay,
that somebody's gonna. It's a lot of people say they know what happened to Juke.
but they don't. They
Okay.
don't. They don't. That's something popular to say online, but the type of person it takes, they don't even know the type of You know what I'm saying? They think they know, and it was that guy. So and so said it was this guy. It was that guy, but they don't.
They don't really know.
But it's
Okay. I
intriguing.
mean, because
It's
people do be
intriguing. It's
flogging
intriguing
people.
to say.
Hmm. So what do you see happening with Memphis as far as like, do you think that it will ever become, because it was on its way? Do you think it will become a mecca, like it will become like an Atlanta or a New York or an LA? It was close to happening as far as the rappers, the music.
It would have been there. You got people like that don't want to work together. That block shit. You got the biggest artist block known for blocking. This nigga is a nigga come out with a baller blocking movie. This nigga is a blocker. This nigga is the
Who is
big guy.
that?
Gotti is a blocker. You know what I'm saying? This nigga trash, bro. In terms of selfishness and the type of heart, it just
He got a cold heart. I'm gonna tell you that right now.
real niggas been respecting real niggas and real niggas and killers. They been respecting each other, and so it's a certain way they handle each other. But in terms of an ordinary person or a regular person, this would be considered a terrible person. I gotta be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of joking, a lot of Keon, like niggas will sacrifice you to whatever the cause is. I'm not saying to no society or nothing like that, but niggas will sacrifice you to the cause. Yeah.
Yeah, because here's the thing. Even before when I, before I even really knew who Keon was, you had people saying that Keon went to lay down for something that he didn't actually do for
But
the
he's
cause.
just one. That's just one. You know, I got another little partner, Chris Howard. They left in Mississippi. Didn't even make his bond, back in the day. And another little partner, Gundy, who wouldn't take a gun charge for him. So many people's lives been affected and ruined that, you know, it just is what it
Well,
is.
let me ask you this, and we've had the opportunity to see how God it works. Okay, I've just in the short time I've been blogging on this. I've had the opportunity to analyze things and see how he works. He's a master manipulator. Kind of leave people out there to hang to dry. I mean, you see how they did the Dukes and the Young Dolph case. Why do you think these young men still want? Look at how he did black youngsters. Why do you think they still want to? You would think Pooh Shiesty, who has been in jail, would be up on at least have some type of game. Is it that they just can't see past the money?
It's the mindset. It's the mental programming. It's the culture. See, let me tell you something. There is some culture wrapped up in Memphis, but it's mostly just nigga shit.
Mm-hmm.
It's mostly just ghetto, pitiful ass nigga shit. There is some culture wrapped up in Memphis, but it's just a bunch of broken homes and young criminals and folks fucking behind each other back and women packing guns and women acting like men, and 53% of the households in the city are single parent, and it's just a broken. What,
Yeah.
what, yeah, what you think you gonna get good out of that? People ain't trying to change. They ain't trying to change their ways. They get more and more aggressive. Did all this shit about finessing and sliding and getting over this shit more popular, slamming your partner out. What you trying to ask me? Is he looking up for me? Come on now.
Mm-hmm.
People change their ways. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, go into the good or evil box, and they let you know when they talking behind your back, when they scheming against you, when they scamming on you, when they plotting on you, when they wishing you bad, when they hating on you. They let you know what side you need to put them on, because it ain't
Right.
side of good, but instead of pushing away from it, they embrace the culture. Ain't nobody straight, and anybody can get it, and we gonna slide on. I'm gonna slime a nigga. This all part of this. It's become so much of a gumbo mix that the state government taking over the school system. The feds gonna put more pressure on the city. They got Memphis Safe Task Force. It's just gonna compress, and it's gonna break the town financially because it's too much money that was being given in streets that not gonna flow back through the normal restaurants and soup stores and clothing stores, and because they put the clamps on crime, so the city has to readjust from an economic standpoint, because this single mother, we talk about 53.6% of households in Memphis are single parent homes. So she don't got this nigga giving her no extra money, or the barber is not getting as many customers because things have been clamped down on from the street standpoint. See what I'm saying?
Right. 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 Well, let me ask you this. Do you think that
I'm still here.
okay, do you
I'm
think
listening.
that can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Do you think that Govan was a pawn in Yo Gotti's game also? Even though he's been in the street forever, do you think he was a pawn?
I mean, not I wouldn't say unwillingly, but Pooh Shiesty, that was definitely a pawn. That's what they're going to be, and setting themselves up on the board. And it's interesting that you made that remark before I did, but they just pawns. That's all.
So you feel like that Pooh Shiesty had a bit of a naivety about him, but Govan knew
Absolutely,
exactly what he was
absolutely,
doing.
absolutely. Especially mixed with the business and
Mm-hmm.
what he was being guaranteed. I mean, you're Yo Gotti. You had a number one single. You own a successful record label. You tell me that, hey, I got a check for you if you can get free. Why wouldn't I believe you?
Mm-hmm.
But who would
Yeah.
go and do that with devious intent to harm the artist and his CEO to cancel out the whole picture? Who would do that? That's when you realize what you're dealing with.
Do you think that at some point Yo Gotti gonna crash out? Because every dog got a day.
Because of his discipline, it's highly unlikely.
He's perfected. So you tell me, basically, are you saying he's perfected the game of manipulating
Oh,
others?
that was a long
Because he
time.
don't do any.
Yeah,
He
that
don't do
alone, he
anything.
had that going alone. He had that going for himself a long time ago. So that's, I don't know if I want to say that's God given, but it was some given shit because he was good at that a long, long time ago as a young person. Absolutely. Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's all coming
But to
together now. And
have the props and the money
hmm
to move things around, well, now you can begin to understand how people start putting their life on the line behind what he was saying. You see what I'm saying?
and so when you can't, when there are people that you can't manipulate, because when you think about Young Dolph now, Young Dolph had an air about himself. He had a
But somebody,
confidence.
yeah, somebody's gonna say no. I'm not with this. Somebody's gonna say this don't make sense to me. Why you think that I'm not in next to him or in contact with? Because at some point somebody's gonna say, nah, man, that ain't like for real. You gonna do it like that? Bro, what's up? Man, you want some shit like that? At some point, there's gonna be a tear or a separation because it's only two sides.
Hmm
It's only two sides. It's good and evil.
Well, do
So
you think as
if you work for the devil and you got devilish ways and that's where your motivation comes from. And you don't mind who you step on and sacrifice. And that's not who I am. That's not my persona. I don't see it as a part of winning or a need to do that to win, whatever my definition of winning is. But if I don't see the need to do that, then I don't want. Then we're different. Well, I'm not motivated by that. That's not what I wanted. That's not my move. I wouldn't do it like that. You see what I'm
hmm
saying? I wouldn't do nobody like that. And so that's a very stark difference from how we think and how we and believe it or not, we discuss this as it pertains to the streets. Running off on a
hmm
nigga in front of you some word versus paying the plug and you paying them a couple times and acting like you trying to do the right thing, then running off on them versus riding it out, taking the losses. We had a lot of these conversations, man. Don't think that I know what I'm talking about.
Well, do you think
We
at some
differ.
point?
We differ on in a lot of these conversations. It would end up with us laughing, but we really had a difference in view of all that for real.
Okay, well, you had a successful run in the industry. Do you think that what you're saying, that you had your own opinion, you rebelled against the manipulation as Young Dolph did? Do you think at some point you could have been sta and had the same fate at some point?
if I would have reacted a certain way, and I did tell you about a situation where we went on to the all white bricks video shoot, me and Quick, and we were strapped and we approached God with the intention of confronting him about certain business dealings that weren't favorable. There was some slimy shit he was doing, So that has came to pass, but putting in records and stuff like that's not. I guess I love my music too much. I don't think enough of these niggas to put them in stuff that I do. But where I think that God knew. I think that a lot of people knew that my talent did stop at rapping, and that I'm almost gonna get a second life where they stop at. I get to keep going, and so it wasn't a sprint; it was a marathon.
Hmm. So what do you want to see happen? I want to ask you something else, but I kind of don't.
I'm gonna let you give me one more question. I gotta get up out of here.
Okay. All right.
What's the
Well,
la- what's the
well, let
what
me let me
you
ask you
want?
this. What do you want to see happen with our city?
Well, I think it needs to be some economic upliftment, and people need to be able to do that in their own household and with their individual kids. And the young people need to get some paydays that make sense to them, that make them feel good and make them feel, that um, I can make money doing this as well, along with other stuff. But I can make money doing this as well. And in order to do that, you got to get the right information and you got to get with the right people. A lot of these people got money and they got their own money and they just don't understand how the majors, the Jews, and everybody are betting on these records and winning. Like they don't lose, And it looks like, well, they're picking hits, but not really. That's not really what's going on. There's an entire industry and mechanism behind it all. There's
Hmm.
certain truths that that they need to find out in terms of paydays, in terms of money that you are supposed to receive or that you should receive, and it actually needs to happen, and it actually needs to deposit onto a debit card that they connected to the platform or that they connected to, whatever. So they really because they love the music. I don't think that if they could do what they wanted to do and had the money, I don't think they want to be into it with the people from the other neighborhood or this other guy. I think they'll be out of town. I think they'll be traveling. I think they'll be busy making more music so that they can make more money because they want to buy their family or their mama a house they want to do for it. And so, you have to learn to be your own boss. You have to learn what's going on. You have to educate yourself on the business. Um, Even when you're a big star, like in Glorilla's case, who is doing very well for herself,
Right.
you're not the boss, and therefore you can't take care of 6 or 7 different people. Now the boss can do that because the boss has paid the price. He built the business, he built the brand, and everything that come through. He say what's what. But if you take the route of signing, which is not the worst thing in the world, but it needs to be a life changing amount of money if you sign. Otherwise, you need to have some favorable terms that's going to allow you to get some paydays on down the line and, at some point get free and be your own boss because you do have a family, you do have a mother, you do have a father, you do have children, you do have a woman, or if you're a female rapper, you have a man, um, that you earning for. And so you need to discover these things and the rappers in Atlanta, a lot of them long been discovered this. They've been doing this. They've been knew what was going on. They've been know how all this works. Um, a lot of the people in the independent artists are discovering and are putting into place how all of this works. And you don't need a label. The regular labels is pretty much out of the picture. You can really buy you $1 million house and have you some money and do all of that off just what you know and what you do and what you put into play. You can be the boss, and that's what the technology allows. That's the space and time that we're at right now, and so Memphis just needs to wake up and really get this information. The powers that be, threw away so much money in terms of the city and the city budget and things that were resources that were available, and they're so far out of touch with so much of this that I don't see them getting in a position where Atlanta is because they don't have the experience and the education, and they don't have the willingness to work together. You know, we got to get
Right.
that
There's a lot of divisiveness in our city. Is, was, always has been, and I don't.
individualism. Everybody's at their own individualism, and it's not the way the world works. It's not how people become successful. It's not the way people do business around the world. It's backwards. It's these large urban centers can cities, and we were born and raised in one of them. They can do more damage to you than good.
Because when you go other places, they think kind of differently. Um, a friend of mine who owns a tattoo shop, she owns an earring and a tattoo shop. She does like pop-up shops in Atlanta. She says it was amazing to her when they do the pop-up shops in Atlanta. You have African Americans who walk in there and go, "Is this a black owned business?" And she says that she's like, yeah, I'm a black owned business. And she said they buy up everything. That's their way of giving back. They just buy up everything. He said he was gonna take one more question. I guess he's gone. We enjoyed Mr. N tonight. I think he had to go. He had something else going on in the background, but I really appreciated him coming on. But that's something that has to happen. That's that in my city, and Mr. N is from Memphis too, but in Memphis there has always been a lot of divisiveness, and I think it is totally embarrassing to me. I will say this: it is totally embarrassing to me when I speak about the Young Dolph case, and people say, "Well, you talk about the get numbers, fuck you." Okay, I don't fuck you. I talk about what I want to on my shit. Okay, let me get that straight. Okay, I'm straight up out of South Memphis. Okay, I do what I want to do on my channel. Let's make that clear. But the point is, I have a heart, and it's very embarrassing to me. It's very hurtful to me when I hear people in my city make excuses for young black African American men or anybody, women, white, anybody. It's wrong. But when people make excuses, well, he shouldn't have said this. These folks, we've been fighting our whole lives, right? We've been fighting our whole lives. Like when we were in school, we used to get into a fight, but nobody has a right to take your life just because of what you say to them, right? And so it's very embarrassing to me, but that is like the mindset of our city. And it's something it has to change, because I think about Memphis and how blessed a lot of the Memphians are, right? You have a like the cherry pickings as it relates to talent to come out of Memphis. And it's sad that you got one person, and I understood totally what Mr. N was saying when he's saying you're dealing with God and you're dealing with the devil. Well, your God is straight up the devil, because he had a plan from the very start. Okay, uh, like what's the word that I'm looking for when you want to be the person to corner he of cornering the market and having everybody up under him, right? and having everybody up under him and putting these young men and women in 360 deals. And so I understood what Mr. N said when he talked about Glorilla. That was the last question I was going to ask him. What kind of percentage did he think that Glorilla was getting? Because everybody in Memphis has spoken about, and not just me, everybody in Memphis has spoken about how bad the deal is that he has her in. It's really sad. So when her sisters say, "Well, she's not doing this, and that for us," you saw when she got a truck, he took her the truck. Like he takes her, it's her money, and he decides, well, she's made me triple this month, so I guess I can lease her a truck or something like that. But he's not doing it out the kindness of his heart. He put it on social media as a flex. Okay, so he's kind of spoon feeding her because he's got her in a bad contract. He just totally tricked. As I said on another video, he totally tricked Pooh Shiesty out of his um position because he knew Gucci was never going to allow Pooh Shiesty out of his contract to go and sign with Yo Gotti. So Pooh Shiesty was still his competition, and so that's why I say we gotta start thinking. And with all the talent in Memphis, it's a lot of jealousy, right? It's a lot of jealousy in my city. One of those, and it's jealousy is a spirit, and I may be a lot of things. People might call me kooky, bipolar, crazy, or whatever they call me. Okay, they got a whole lot of names for me. People who don't know me, never seen me. Okay, but one thing that they can't say is that I'm a jealous person. That's something I'm so glad that that spirit has never penetrated me. That's the reason why I can be good to other people. But even with that, I stand alone a lot because I don't want those types of spirits penetrating me. And that is a spirit, right? And I've always said, and it is very prevalent in the city of Memphis, right? Jealousy is the mother and the root really of all evil. It's the mother of all evil. It gives birth to everything evil. Jealousy, lies, everything evil. Jealousy gives birth to that, and that spirit is very prevalent in the city of Memphis. And something has to be done. So we talk about Govan, and I was going to do a little review on his I haven't really had the opportunity to do that because I don't have my laptop. I done had to take the laptop to the folks so that they can rig it up because they keep hacking in through the Microsoft and through the browser. They was telling me some shit, that some stuff that was going on with it today, how they was getting into my computer. But I don't have it back though, so I had to log in through something else that they gave me. But the thing about it is that you think about it's a lot of mental illness, and I get to thinking about sometimes I know I'm kooky, but there's some real mental illness that is going on. There are people that are really undiagnosed. Okay, there are people that are really undiagnosed, and that mental illness, they've allowed jealousy and thinking that somebody else having something, you know um means if somebody else gets something before them, it means that they can't get it, instead of getting about their own business of getting what God has for them. It's sad, right? It really is sad. And I'm sure jealousy resides in every city, but I've seen it for so many uh years in my city, and it's really sad. And people have had the opportunity to see the workings just on YouTube. I'm very embarrassed by how these stupid motherfuckers get on here from Memphis and act. A lot of them, okay? But I mean, it's easy. I get to thinking about, I'm like, dog, it's easy for people to see how Yo Gotti and them was able to just put a hit on Young Dolph and kill him, because that is the energy that's in the city for nothing other than jealousy. That is what is going on. Okay. So that's why when people get on here and say, well, you be talking about, right. It's not just Memphis. That's true. Owens capital. It's not just Memphis. It's black people across the South. Absolutely. It's that slave mentality. It is. It's that slave mentality. Sometimes, you have to like separate yourself from even family members. I was, and it kind of hurt my feelings so bad because the situation that hurt my feelings. I'm gonna give y'all an example. One of my aunties, okay, and I got aunties on my mom and my dad's side, so I'm not going to say which side it was, okay. One of my aunties, somebody was talking, and I was just working, trying to, help her with something, okay, and somebody started talking, and um, you know, when they started talking, I guess they was talking at me. And I looked up and my auntie was looking at me with a like a smirk on her face, as if, to see how I was going to react or if it was gonna hurt my feelings or whatever. And what the person was saying didn't hurt my feelings. The fact that she was looking at me with a smirk to see, if I was going, as the old people say, if I was going to be left late or hacked or whatever however they say it. And when I don't be studying folks, I kind of stay in my own little world, and do my own little thing. I really don't be studying what other people got going on. Hey, I can celebrate with you. I ain't coming to none you got because I don't know who you got there. So I'll send you some money. That's how I support people. I'm just going here send you some, but I ain't coming because I don't know who's gonna be up in there. And I don't vibe with everybody because I understand how prevalent that spirit is of jealousy. And it is not just in Memphis, okay? It is everywhere. People are don't have any self-control anymore as it relates to jealousy. They don't have any self-control anymore at all. She thinks she's something, so I'm gonna try to sabotage her. That's gonna make me better. No, when people get to talking about, I say all the time, when people get to talking about, well, the devil is a lie, and the devil attacking my body, and the devil attacking my family, and the devil attacking this, and the devil attacking that. I go, no, you a lie. You reaping what you sow. A lot of times you is reaping what you sow. The devil ain't got a damn thing to do with a lot of the stuff that these folks going through. They sitting up and doing evil and they reaping because you sure got to reap what you sow, but they'll put it on the devil every time. Okay, the devil attacking my husband because uh this woman that he out here cheating. How many women have you hurt before you got married? And I know, they say, well, that's my old life, I have to repent. Yeah, you can repent and you do better, and I'm real proud of you, but you sure have to reap what you sow. You got to get it back. You got to get it back. So what you have to do is ask God to give you the grace and not allow it to make you bitter. And I think that's a situation too. People are allowing situations to make them bitter. I don't ever allow anything to make me bitter. I might talk a little shit sometimes, but anything that truly hurts me, I can't talk about. I can't talk about. I kind of let it marinate and I deal with it privately. But if you hear me talking about it, it's because I ain't studying it and I healed. I ain't studying it. I don't talk about nothing if I'm not healed from it. That's just how I am. So when people, well, they bitter. Nah, I ain't. You don't know me. That's why you say that. I ain't bitter about shit because I don't talk about anything that still has me hurt, okay, or has me hurt. Because a lot of times, what people think has hurt you didn't actually have you hurt. Period. You were never studying it anyways. You just doing something. And that is the issue. It's a lot of damaged people that want to see other people hurt. Your situation, and you went through a circumstance, and it has left some people. I be feeling sorry for people. That's the type of person I am when I see how evil they are and they doing evil and they wishing evil on folks. I be my heart's so soft. I be feeling sorry for them because I go, that's a fucked up person. They fucked up. Them folks done been through a whole lot. I grew up in the projects until I was 12, but I sure had a good life. My mom and grandmama and them tried to give me everything, even though they didn't have nothing. You got a lot of folks that weren't even loved. Okay? They don't even know what it's like to be loved. They never had they folks to even tell them that they love them. And so they carry that bitterness around and they try to sprinkle that misery on other people. It's time. Hurt children grow up to be hurt adults. It's time for a lot of people to get healing, and that's why I'm starting to learn because I was taught to love everybody. Love people, love the hell out of them. That's kind of what I was taught, and as an adult, I think that's a naivety that I carry with me because these motherfuckers didn't grow up like me. They riding, okay? And so I've tried to sprinkle love. Oh, I love you. She a hoe. Bitch, I was taught to love. What you talking about? You got to be a hoe because you tell somebody you love them? Okay. But I had to understand a lot of these people grew up in miserable spaces. They come from the straight up sewer. They don't know any better. And you cannot put your goodness on a sewer because it's still gonna stink. You just can't do it. And I'm talking about even if it's just platonic, okay? Because when people say, well, you know that I've dated, I grew up in the hood, so I dated majority street dudes, and there was some of the best dudes and most giving dudes out there. Okay, so just because you grow up in the hood, your whole life don't make you bad. Okay, it just make you oftentimes a product of your environment, and they got into stuff, illegal stuff that they shouldn't have got into, but they were some of the most methodical, smartest, giving dudes that I'd ever seen. These motherfuckers now riding. Okay, they riding. So that's why I don't let nobody really talk down. Was you dating a street dude? Well, wait a minute now, because I've dated street dudes, and they was the most giving and loving. I remember when I first went to college, I had one, and he took care of a sister. Okay, because he was a giving person. I'm not in the street. I love what you're doing. You stay in school. As long as you're in school, I got you. Okay. But you got folks now because they're miserable. I never thought I would live to see the day where women who are supposed to be the models of their household, women are supposed to be nurturers. I'm a nurturer. Okay. Would gloat over seeing other women hurt. These women are so damaged now, they gloat over seeing other women hurt. And you better not say that you got something good going for yourself. They're going to the damn witch doctors. Oh, she's supposed to be my friend, but she's sitting up talking about she happy and she going to school and her kids making good grades. Yeah, she just bragging. That's all right. God don't like ugly. We get ready to pray that away. Keep miserable people out of your life. You can't love the hell out of everybody because that stink is just it's embedded in their skin. And it's gonna take God for them. Some people you just have to remove yourself from. The when you get used to being by yourself. Okay, I love going to school. I'm so peaceful in school now. When y'all don't see me on here, okay, when y'all don't see me on here, but lately I ain't had my laptop because they've been working on it. But it's still my finals. Okay, I'm so dedicated to school because I lollygagged for so long, and just finishing out my degree and and getting into a law school. It makes me, I mean, that right there makes me so freaking happy. Okay, that makes me so freaking happy. It don't make no sense. Work on making yourself better. Forget about what everybody else talking about. Okay. I was thinking about somebody was, how people oftentimes they'll try to make you feel bad about yourself, and they got worse shit going on with them. I said this, and I said I would never do it again because we all go through stuff. Okay. And I was thinking about, folks don't even know anything about you. They want to believe the worst about you. They want to try to make you feel bad. And now people don't know what you've gone through, or why you are in the state that you are in. They don't care, but they look for flaws because they're miserable. They ain't even got 1% of what you got. They couldn't carry your water for a day. They ain't capable of it. That's the reason why they zone in on you, to try to make you feel bad about yourself, brother. It's because you take pride in who you are, or whatever it is. If you got a little flaw, they kind of zone in on that, right? That's why you have to keep miserable people from around you. Hey, I love it when I see somebody that's hungry. I'm like, okay, well, that person is hungry. Hey, I don't mind sharing a little something with them, if I can, because I don't know everything. And then they take it. They don't try to attach to you like a leech to drain the life out of you. Hey, they just want a little wisdom, and then they take that and take that wisdom and move on, okay? And use it and do something good for themselves, okay? And then later on, if they see you, if you all happen to meet again in life's path, hey, they might be in a position to throw you an alley hoop or whatever. That's what it's supposed to be about. But nowadays, everybody got their motherfucking hands closed and ain't nobody got shit. I'm gonna hold on to my half of a cent. Half of a cent ain't even nothing. Okay? A half of a cent ain't even nothing. I remember this lady used to come over to my studio, and I used to be, I'm gonna put all nonprofit organizations on TV, this, and that. And I love perfumes. I am a perfume fanatic. Okay. And so I remember she walked in there and she had on some perfume. And she had like this group home, this ladies' home or whatever. And she used to always beg. I mean, just begging all the time. And so I would call my dad and I was like, Dad, can you all do y'all have any money that y'all are giving away? See, she stayed up under me because my dad and them gave away all their money. Y'all got any money, because can y'all, and so my dad said to me one day, where did that lady come from? And I said, I don't know. He said, what kind of background? She got that ladies home, but women like that have often been out in the street. And even though they're trying to do good for somebody, they got a hustle about them. Ask her about herself. So I got to ask them one day. I said, so what's your story? What made you want to? Well, I used to be on drugs. I used to be a prostitute. I said, oh, okay, this bitch been hustling me. You know what I mean? Just my good nature of seeing that she was giving back. I, but I wasn't even thinking like that because I'm thinking, oh, okay, she's giving back, and so because she's trying to give back to the community. Hey, I got access to my dad and them. They giving all that money out every 6 months, But you have to be careful because people will try and connect to you because of the fruits that you carry, right? So, my dad said, "See, I told you, I told you." And then my dad went on to tell me after I had introduced her to my dad, he said, "Don't you know the lady said to me, well, if you want to go out sometime." My dad, a damn married man, she was trying to court him to make sure she got that money every year. And my dad was a good looking man, and he was he was a ladies man, but he didn't want her. Okay, he didn't want her. But it's just the idea, like of the things that people will do. Like you have to be very careful about. The Bible is true when it says you cannot cast um your what is it, your fruits or whatever to swine, or your gifts to swine or something like that. You can't. A lot of these people come straight up out of the damn gutter. Okay, even if you help them, they'll be trying to kill you. That bitch thinks she's something because she helped me. They'll take your gifts in one hand and stab you in and shoot you in the neck with the other hand. That's why you have to be very meticulous, and that is the spirit that is over the city of Memphis. Okay, they could try to put it on the politicians, and got a lot of politicians that screwed up. Okay, but it's like Mr. N said, it's the mindset of the people. It's the mindset of the people. So when people get to talking about Quet, I said I was going to do a review on Quet. Yeah, Quet needs to go get baptized. Okay, but even still, when I think about Quet, I think about God took Saul and changed his name to Paul. Saul was a damn murderer. Quet is low down and evil now, because I can see it all over him. But what Quet needs to do is get his damn life right. I try not to talk bad about him, because if he is trying to do good, I know if he go into those jails, they got to watch him to make sure he ain't recruiting no damn hitmen for Gotti. Okay, but they'll listen to him. Okay, if he truly got his heart right. Okay, and so I think when you think about the people like the Quets and the Yogatis, you've had people like the Yogatis, who is the most evil one of them all. Okay, Yogati is the most evil one of them all. He has always been very manipulative. You have to watch people who is always trying to send people out to do dirt for them. They are the most dangerous ones of them all. Okay, because even when you see people that take up for themselves and they willing to jump into the pot to defend themselves, that person might have somewhat of a good heart. Okay, you might could deal with that person, okay, because they ain't trying to get nobody else involved. They might be a thinker. They might think and care about other people. But a motherfucker that sit up all the time and sit up and think of evil ways to try to take other people out, but they want other people to do it for them. That's an evil snake, okay? That's a damn anaconda, and he got to be stopped, okay? Because God says, "Be not deceived, for God is not mocked." That's my favorite scripture. Whatever man soweth, that's just what he's gonna reap. That's why I don't worry about your God. I've never put him in a God like position. Never. I don't ever put no man. No, and I think that's the issue. You got people that get on here and they want to argue and go back and forth about men as much as I like Young Dolph, okay? And I didn't know Young Dolph. I hate what happened to him. I know God gonna get true justice for Young Dolph, okay? So there's no need for me to jump on here and fight on fights. I don't let nobody come on my show and put no damn crazy ass propaganda out. But that's how I know God has got to get, is going to get Yo Gotti. He don't get away. Yo Gotti ain't God. This man is ruining other people's lives. Anytime you go as far as killing a man, having a man killed, and sending folks out to take him out, just because you mad and jealous, you will do anything. A person like that ain't to be trusted. They will do anything. Okay? And so that's why I say the mindset of Memphis has to change. He said, "We got justice for Young Dolph already." Well, we haven't got total justice, Cypress. We'll get total justice when the people that be paying for them lawyers and that paid for the hit, it came out of CMG account. Okay. Let's not forget that. It came out of CMG account, Cypress. And so when whoever owns CMG, okay, because I'm under the impression that God really don't own it. Okay. I think he the face of it at this point. But whoever the face of CMG, whoever can write the checks out of CMG still, I mean, they're the ones that pay for the hit. So when that person is gotten, whoever that is, because I don't know who owns CMG, okay, um, I think that's when justice will be served, okay. I think that's when justice will be truly served, Cypress. Straight Drop and Cornelius, unfortunately, they messed their lives up. They're the low hanging fruit. Quit the low hanging fruit too. Okay, he ain't the real low hanging fruit. I, I put them in place, and I heard Sid in there say this before, and he know he got it from me. Oh, don't get me started talking about him. I get mad. Um. Okay, so Straight Drop and Cornelius were the limbs of the tree. Okay, I'm gonna be on here a little while long because y'all know I get sleepy. Auntie be tired, y'all. I be studying and stuff so hard and writing them papers and stuff. I be happy when I get them notifications saying good job, good, you did some good work right here. But it's the finals, okay? After about a week or so, now I'm going to summer school too. I'm going on through the summer too, y'all. So I have a couple weeks off, and we'll do a lot of videos. But the summer is real fast paced, okay? But I got to pass these finals. Yeah, what was I getting ready to say? I was saying, about the limbs of the tree, okay, the roots of the tree. My dad taught me this. So, Straight Dropping Cornelius were the limbs of no, yeah, were the limbs of the tree. Orange Mound Quet was the branches of the tree. Jook was the trunk of the tree, and Yo Gotti's motherfucking ass is the root of the tree. Okay, him and whoever the mother folks was that paid for that hit. Okay, and I keep saying that I don't say stuff just to be saying it. Okay, Yo Gotti and whoever them other folks was that participated, that could make that call on giving up their money on their hit. Because if y'all think them folks paid $100,000 for that hit, something is wrong with y'all. If that's what y'all believe, it's something wrong. And I know I ain't got no damn fools in my chat, so I know it ain't nothing wrong with y'all. Stanley says, I remember the first hearing Dolph in 2008 freestyle over Jeezy's song White Girl and dropped his first tape Paper Route campaign Too Hard. Yeah. Shout out to Young Dolph. Hey, we want there to be other Young Dolphs that learn the industry that it's I think Young Dolph now, since he's gone on to another dimension, because that's we are when we leave here we go to another dimension. Okay, I think I think there's dimensions, right? um he's ascended. Okay, he's immortal, he's ascended. But the thing about it now is he's now, I think he's become a way of life. So we need other young men to be to do it the Young Dolph way. Okay, make that a way of life, and that is learning the business. Okay, and then working the business and not allowing the business to work them. Learning the business and creating generational wealth and not becoming slaves to the business, right? Because even though young guy yo got yo I must be getting sleepy. Young dog yo Look at me, Lord. Let me slow down. Yo Gotti is still alive. Okay. He's creating slaves in his own he's still creating slaves in his own community, and the mindset of our people is so hurtful to me. It hurts me how messed up we are. They think him getting on there and showing that his artist got jewelry and showing that fake money, oftentimes they get off of Amazon and the lease cars and the rented houses. They ain't got no loan money or no wealth. True wealth is being able to take care of your whole family, really. That's that loan money where there's generational wealth left for your lineage to, like, it spreads throughout your family. He ain't creating that. He ain't capable of doing it because he's too greedy. Okay. And so therefore he's gonna have to reap and pay. Okay. He's gonna have to reap and pay for a lot of what he has done. And the sad thing about it, he still ain't look at what just happened to Pooh Shiesty. Pooh Shiesty, unfortunately, Pooh Shiesty had a promising career. I really want to see that young brother win. And Yo Gotti went to his chessboard because he knew Pooh Shiesty was just gonna get bigger and bigger. And guess what? He was up under his arch nemesis. But he was gonna get bigger and bigger up um under Gucci Mane. Okay. And he found a way to trick that young man out of his position because he knew Gucci was not. Yo Gotti knew because he wouldn't have done it. He knew it. He knew Gucci was not gonna release that brother. He knew it. And so he helped to crash that brother out. And guess what? Right after he crashed out, Moneybag, because wasn't nobody thinking about Moneybag. They was talking about Pooh Shiesty this, Pooh Shiesty that. Moneybag almost 40. Okay. So Pooh Shiesty had the hearts of the younger people what Moneybag once had. Okay. He was probably gonna out he was out selling Glorilla. So I wish that brother had thought about that. It's so unfortunate. It really is. I sure hate it. I sure hate it. It's so unfortunate. But he just crashed that brother out. So everybody that has been in his energy, people need to stay. His energy is bad. Oh, that's an evil energy. They either end up dead or in jail. Okay. So I wouldn't even want to be around him. Because if you go into a room with him, you already know it's because he has made you a target. And it ain't but two ways as it relates to him. You're gonna end up in jail or you're gonna end up dead. So I wouldn't even want to be around him. Anyways, you guys, Mr. Ian did a good show. He did a good show. He had to go. He did a good show. He didn't even say, he didn't get the opportunity to say goodbye. I guess he felt, because I was sure get ready to ask him another question. So he did good to drop down. Um Said she has found them clowns out. Cypress, when you going? So yeah, you guys, that it all boils down to that. The mindset has to change. I'll say in our community, all the way across the board. YouTube is a gem. I think they hide our history so much, they don't, because they don't really want us to know where we came from. Go back and start looking at a lot of our history, and you'll get the opportunity to get an idea of where we came from. When you know where you came from, you'll know where you don't want to return there, right? You don't want to return there. Unfortunately, a lot of us don't even know who we are, where we came from, and it is worse now, I think, than even it was back then when they were um, in the 30s and 40s. Honestly, because of the mindset. At least back then in the 30s, 40s, 50s, and 60s, those people they had our people then, they had a drive. They wanted better and they worked hard. They was held back. They was held back by the opposite races, right? Now we're doing it to our own communities. We're doing it to our own communities, right? So it's so unfortunate. I'm so glad I don't have an assignment to turn in tonight. Yes, it really was a good interview. He ain't learned his lesson the first time. So yeah. Stanley, you think Quet want to do an interview with me? I think it do he charge, because I don't have no money. I ain't got no money. I gotta go over to the bonding company now because I got some things that I'm doing. So and I sure didn't feel like, don't be feeling like doing it. Um what was the last question that I was gonna ask him? I was gonna ask him what was the percentage, um what was the percentage, what percentage does he think that Yo Gotti is giving Glorilla? Yeah, what percentage, how much do he think that Glorilla is making off of her? That, well, how much do he think that Yo Gotti is giving Glorilla? Because I think it's in percentages. And I do remember before when Glorilla first signed her contract, some reliable people said to me, and I promise to God that would know, when Gotti first signed the girl, um, when she was doing, what do they call, like walkthroughs or show ups? Yeah, I forget, my brain fuzzed up. Is it called show ups? Walkthroughs or show ups or whatever you call them. And so the first, and this is when he first signed her. Um, the first 35,000, I believe, went to him. The first 35 or 40,000, they were saying, went to him off of the top. So she would have had to charge a lot, and this is when he first signed her. He would have had to charge. She would have had to charge over that amount to make money. Yeah, because they had the Black Wall Street in the 20s and they were thriving. Um, and so she for her appearances, that's what it's called, her appearances. She had to charge when she was first signed to him over, I'm told, 30,000. I'm sure he's renegotiated that contract. He's getting way more than that now. Okay, because he licensed He licensed everything. He owns a name. He wanted that song, F Ninja Free. He wanted that. And he owns that. So what she did was she signed over everything to him so that his kids can eat and his family can be wealthy. And so it's a damn shame that you kill a man in Memphis that was teaching these young people that was in the industry the opposite way so that they could create generational wealth. They got the talent. They could create generational wealth for their families. Okay. And so you put a hit on a man so that he could no longer speak about it. He had the platform to speak about it and was being heard and people was listening. Right. And so now he's still able to dangle. He did it to straight drop. He just did it to Pooh Shiesty. And you heard Mr. N say he's done it to other people, dangled the money, right? And everybody know that they don't like to pay folks, so they weren't gonna get it. It's something how people forget. If you hear around the city that these people don't even like to pay folks, okay? But you think you they start dangling that money in your face, you forget about that. Anyways, you guys, I'm gonna have to get off it. What time is it? Okay, it's 10:12. I need to take my shower and get my work clothes ready. But I really enjoy. Y'all. He says, Glow probably gets 40% with an unlimited credit line for her promotion. Big pressure. For some reason, I don't believe it. She might get an unlimited credit line because she's gonna have to pay it back. It was a crash out mission from the jump. It was definitely a crash out mission. The thing that's disappointing to me is that his father was there and allowed it to happen. They all grown. You can't be crashing over some money. He could, yeah, Pooh Shiesty could have made that himself. I'm gonna tell y'all something. Pooh Shiesty didn't have the right people around him. Everybody called those masks. I keep saying that the Pooh Shiesty mask. Pooh Shiesty was supposed to go over there to China and get them damn masks for 50 cents or $1 a mask. Have somebody to sew his initials on there. He sign them, and somehow have somebody to make them with his signature on them. They already called a Pooh Shiesty mask. He was supposed to put his signature on them damn masks and sell them for 40, 50, or $60. Every time he went out to do shows, he was supposed to have somebody out there in his crew selling them masks. Or if he went out there and sold them backstage. If they came backstage, if he put his signature on it back there, okay, this one right here gonna be 100. Pooh Shiesty could have made if about $5 million doing that. Got it probably here. Listen to that now. He could have did that. Therefore, he wouldn't have been so desperate and let God make him desperate as it rate. He could have waited that situation out with Gucci because he had people around him with a business mind. He was supposed to take advantage of selling them Pooh Shiesty masks. Okay. That right there would have made him a multi-millionaire. He already had everybody calling it the Pooh Shiesty mask. Okay. He was supposed to go and link up with some company and become the face of that and have them to put them damn mask up in their store. Okay. And then charge them for saying, look, my Pooh Shiesty mask is exclusively in Bloomingdale's. He would have been getting it all the way around the board, but you gotta have a business mind. The problem is, unfortunately, Pooh done been out in the street. And a lot of these folks can't think themselves out of a paper bag. Okay. All they know is violence. I'm mad, and it's time to get active, and they lose everything. And your God knows that. Now when Pooh Shiesty went to jail, what he do? He leak an album. His old ass don't nobody want to hear him. They wanted to hear Pooh. The young folks wants to hear Pooh. They don't want to hear a old ass senior citizen. Okay? And it's a damn shame that his old ass is trying to still tricking these damn kids out of their positions because he still want his 15 minutes. Don't he know he ought to be trying to get his life right with the Lord? Okay? He about almost half of a damn 100. Okay? But people don't want to talk about that. I'm tired of these old pissy men. They with their pissy asses being old and stupid. Inspired says, I don't like Pooh. Pooh was gonna have to change his mindset to stay successful. Because if Pooh had kept the same mindset that he had, he was gonna end up back in jail anyways if he wasn't thinking about changing his mindset. Prison would have prison was gonna be his destination if he was not gonna change his mindset. He had people like Big 30 and them around him. Big 30 will crash out too. And look at him now, back in jail, Lord. You would think that Big 30 would have known better to hell. They talking about Yo Gotti and them want to give a deal, and Chopper Gang was a part of the deal. Big 30 been out all that damn time. Hell, if they was gonna give Chopper Gang a deal, they would have been did it. So they made a damn ass out of him too. But you know it's sad because these folks be wanting people to make a fool out of them. Folks got to learn how to think. It's time to start learning how to think. Anyways, you all, I gotta get out here. I can't. I have to take a shower. I take a shower every night and every morning. I just y'all have y'all got those mint um shower bombs? You know, you throw them in the shower, and then we turn the shower on. Like the scent goes up your nose, like the mint scent. Oh my god, I love it so much. I think that helps me to sleep good. I love those shower bombs. Them OGs guided them the wrong way. Mob boss, especially. Yeah, mob boss ought to be ashamed of himself. Now, how he gonna try to kill Gotti years ago, and then think Gotti gonna do right by him and his son? What is wrong with these folks? Mob boss ain't on. He ain't snorting, is he? He don't be snorting, do it. I was reading his paperwork. I wasn't supposed to say that. It's Mm, I don't. I probably wouldn't even know he is. I don't know who it was. Inspired by 2383 says his dad failed him as a man. Sure did. Sure did. He failed him as a man. My boss should have known. That's why I say y'all do. My boss be snorting. Do he snorts? Ain't that how y'all say it? Do he snorts? A lot of these people be snorting. They be snorting. Y'all be thinking they be getting caught with intent to sell, but they be getting caught with intent to use. I'm not saying the mob, but I'm just saying you don't never know what these folks got. A lot of these people be using more than what they sell. I'm telling you that right now. A lot of these people be using more than what they sell. And I hate that. A lot of these men wait till they get old and rusty to go get on this stuff. They wait till they get old and rusty to go get on to be snorting and they think because they on cocaine, that that's a better drug. Hell, a lot of them ain't on no cocaine, they on crack because they can't even afford no damn cocaine. Okay, they can't afford it. So that it's really crack. This I'm on powder, that's cocaine. They think it's a step up because it ain't rock. Because I think what the rock was crack, right? Yeah, I ain't on no rock. They'll argue down. I'm on cocaine. A damn junkie. Y'all, we got to pray for these folks. Oh, I ain't never in my life seen such. It's so hurtful to me. That's the reason why when these men get around here, when these men get around here and they get the coming after me. I runs to the police. I'm serious, cause I don't be bothering nobody, but these folks be on powder. They be on crack. Okay, they be on crack, cause they ain't got no money for no cocaine. So I do. These folks is and when they on that stuff, they be they be real bad. They be angry and mad. I mean, I'm serious. They be putting stuff all in they joints, in they whatever y'all call it, the weed or whatever. They be lacing it with stuff, and then mm-mm. Go on, take your crackhead on, cause see when you look at some of their backgrounds now. All you got to do is look at some of their backgrounds, and you will see that in the past, you know, arrested for possession, okay? And it don't say nothing about with no intent to sell, okay? It don't say nothing about no intent to sell or distribute, intent to use. That's why I tell these men, y'all just go on, leave me alone, okay? Just go on. I'm gonna put the police on you. Leave me alone, because I know I know what I know. Just go on. Cause I don't know you. I don't want to know you. Leave me alone. Cause I'm gonna have to go ahead and just put some paperwork on you. Cause you get high, you get to looking for me. When you come through that door, you're gonna leave in a meat bag. Yes, that it was a great live with Mr. N. Shout out to Mr. N. I hope I didn't upset Mr. N, because I'm very inquisitive. Mr. N he knows how to talk around he knows how to talk around answers. I be trying to kick through the door and get him to outright say stuff. Although I understand, there are some things that these dudes can't say. Okay. Say, look, a lot of junkies, when they have money, I mean, they're the funniest, because they think that they be, thinking that they got it up under control. I got money. I got it up under control. They think they have it up under control, and they be the worst ones, child. They be the worst ones. Tam, you beautiful black woman that has a great personality. I wish you thank you, darling. I appreciate that so much. What's Cypress at? Cypress then went on to sleep. Cypress, why you be getting mad? I didn't see Justice for Dolph in here. Normally he be up in here. Um, maybe I don't know. Normally Justice for Dolph be up in here. He didn't come in here. He'll probably look at the replay. Yeah, Mr. N be saying some interesting stuff. He be trying. Mr. N know how to throw shade too. He was throwing shade in the beginning. He funny. So Mr. N, he on vacation. You think so? I don't know. It looks like he was. I thought he was sitting in the back of his house that had a swimming pool. I thought he was sitting at his house. Because that looked like a swimming pool in the background. But he could have been in a hotel on vacation. You're right. But I thought it looked like a home swimming pool. You all, I have more interviews this week. Okay, so I will be interviewing a county commissioner Friday. I'm gonna have Mr. Curry back on that is running for school board, and I'm trying to work out something with the DA, with Steve Mulroy, and with Mayor Young. Steve Ben agrees to come on. Paul says that he's gonna come on. Mayor Young is a great person. Mayor Young is a really great person. So those four are on the agenda. So and another young man who is running for county commission. Um, he is the president of an association downtown, and they have really been beautifying downtown. So he's supposed to come on Sunday. So while the election is going on, in between me trying to make sure, finishing up everything because it's the end of the semester, making sure I got, my grades are right. I will be interviewing people, and it's been a lot going on in Memphis, so that's gonna be interesting. Um, I think Steve Mulroy's, I think Steve's interview it will be extremely interesting because I think Steve has a lot to say, and Mayor Young's interview will be interesting. Who got beef? You or Steve Mulroy? Y'all believe it or not, Steve is a nice guy. Steve is a nice guy. I just think that you know Steve is really a nice guy. Believe it or not, Paul Hagerman is spicier than Steve is. Okay, be forgetting the comments go fast. You all make sure if you get up in the morning, we get on my praying line. If you don't have the number, go to my Real Talk with Tamara Facebook page and we get on and have prayer. And more people have been getting on. Um Angel the Real Boss gets on every morning. TB21 has been getting on. More people have been getting on, and what we do is we pray, we come into agreement. People get on and they ask for we, kind of talk about what we want to agree on, because God says where two or three agree, He'll be in the midst. And it was a lady got on this morning, and she wanted us to come into agreement. She's about a custody battle. Um, that they can come to an agreement, and it could be a peaceful custody battle, a peaceful ending. And so the number is on. I should have put it up on the screen, but go to Facebook, Real Talk with Tamara. I got it pinned up. So you dial the number and then you put the pin in. And we're on every morning. I always say from 7 to 7:15, but we're always off by like 10 minutes after 7 because we read script. I read scripture and then we do prayer so that we can come into agreement and then we just get off because we have to go to work. So it's just prayer to start the day. You know, that's how we do it. He got mad. I questioned why he was being stalked by a dude and gonna try to post a pic of him and his wife. who you talk about inspired by who did that? He got mad. I questioned why he was being stalked by a dude and don't try to post a picture of him and his wife. Who? Yeah, I think somebody sent that young man over there to try. That young man was mentally ill, and I think that young man was sent over there to try. I think some people sent that young man out to go over there and try and hurt the mayor and his family. That young man was very mentally ill. Politics can be a dirty game, I tell you. Anyways, you all, I want you all to please like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all go to Real Talk with Tamara Facebook and get the prayer line number. Put it in your phone. We 7 o'clock a.m. We are on the praying line. We normally on for 10 minutes. Make sure y'all join in. I really enjoyed you all tonight. I appreciate the support. I'm gonna if I don't get on tomorrow, I'm going to post some videos. It's hard for me using this device that they gave me. I'll be glad when I get my laptop back. Anyways, you guys, I love you all. Make sure you guys please like, share, and subscribe. I'll talk to you later.